Hello everyone, welcome for this new episode of Timeout from Tamriel. Thank you very much to have watched the last episode, and this week, as promised, we will be speaking about Imperial City. Exciting! We'll share everything we think about it, may it be good or bad. Timeout, Deltia, it's your turn.
Okay, well, they didn't announce like every single detail, but what they did announce is the currency system. And I think, Sig, you have more insight on this than I do, correct?
Yeah, I'll just give a rundown on what it is real quick, just in case anybody missed it. Basically, it's called the Tel Var stone system, and what it is a currency that you earn by fighting an Imperial city. So the basic of it is as you fight NPC mobs and do quests in Imperial City, you earn these stones. And there's a modifier on it, so the more stones that you get, the bigger the modifier, the more stones you can earn. And then the risk comes in is that you can also lose these stones if another player kills you, and that's another way for you to get stones is to kill other players. There's some safe zones available to every faction where you can go in and bank your stones. And there's also a safety net system involved with daily questing where the stones are rewarded to you in a box that you can either choose to open when you've got an active multiplier and get more stones, or you can take the box back to the safe zone and open it there. The boxes can't be looted from you if you're killed. So that essentially is how you earn the stones and the risk involved, and then they're going to be good for things such as set items and the different armor motifs and different goods and whatnot that are going to be available within Imperial City.
Okay, so I'll go on this. I think personally the mix of PvE, PvP is okay, only if you have a realm that's completely shut off from PvE. So I like it. Let's say we have Cyrodiil. I would like this thing to be completely PvP, but that's not going to happen. That's not what the developers want. So the mix of PvP and PvE, it is what it is. I think it's going to be cool. But you're going to have people that want to do PvE and other people that have, Alliance rank 10, 1,000 champion points going around and making their life miserable. So we'll see how this gets mixed up. And the way that you can get those stones is really, really cool. The fact that you have a multiplier, you have more risk reward to basically keep them and keep going, I think is a cool mechanic. So prepare to be ganked by basically an infinite amount of night blades in there, because that's what it's going to be, magic night blades and that sort of thing. But really I'm interested in the loot and gear that comes out of this. Like, is it 10 stones? Is it 50,000? I mean, like, where is the line for this? I'll be really curious to see that. But the main mechanic here that I like is you now have to PvP. I mean, and if you're a true PvEer, you probably hate that, but you now have to PvE. So, speaking of that, let's talk to our true PvPer, or PvEer, Aloha. What do you think about it?
Yeah, well, I made a video about this because a lot of PvE carebeers like me have completely freaked out about this because they don't want to be ganked, and I understand that correctly. I understand that perfectly. You don't want to be ganked, etc. But first of all, Imperial City is not only Imperial City. It's also 2 new dungeons. 2 new dungeons with a normal mode, a veteran mode, which mean 4 new dungeons. I mean 16 to 24 new bosses. That will be exciting, and for that alone, I think that any PvEers, carebeer, can rejoice, be happy, and purchase the Imperial City. Now, regarding what's happening in the Imperial City directly, I think that it's worth to take your chance on this and to get into the fight, because you will have a lot of possibility to save your stone, or you can do the dailies with the boxes that is not lootable by other player. You can make an alliance with other guilds that can protect you while you're farming your bosses and stuff like that. You can sneak around, be careful. There's plenty of possibilities, plenty of social interaction that can be created. And also, you're not alone. And someone on the forum say that. It's a very important point. It's like a lot of PvEers were thinking they will be like poor little sheep, the prey of the lions. But they will not be alone. There will be a lot of PvPers on their side too to protect them. So I don't think it's as bad as it may seem, except for the unbalance of the choke points. That's a different subject.
I'll play devil's advocate here. You don't think it's going to be that bad, but what happens when you're the non-dominant campaign? You can't even play the content. Why? Because the other people have it locked. So what I'm thinking is going to happen is either one or two things. The non-dominant campaign or faction is going to be miserable because they really can't even play this. Because they can't get into this Imperial City.
If you are PvEers like me, you don't go where your company is not dominating.
Well, Aloha, you have no choice. You can't get into this zone unless you have Cyrodiil, 6 home keeps or more. So what happens when Imperial City comes out? You can't even go in there and play because your faction DC sucks at PvP. How fun is that going to be?
No,
That's going to be miserable.
You choose a faction. You choose a company where your faction is good.
There is no such thing anymore. There's no buff servers. So you have, I mean, almost every single campaign there's no buff servers, and there's always the one faction that has low population. Why? Because there's no incentive right now. There's no incentive to play a low pop faction. There's none.
Yeah.
So you have AD and Red. There's no incentive for them to play DC on American server because you don't get more AP in the game's current way. So you're going to have one faction it's not going to see this content, unfortunately, very often. Or you're going to have buff servers. So the exact same thing that they didn't want happening with servers and being buffs and like no one fights in that server, you're going to have one of the two things happen. We're gamers. They'll either make alliances and stuff and, hey, you leave Thornblade alone, we'll leave Children alone. You leave, and you'll have one server that everyone plays in. That's my opinion. Sig, what do you think will happen?
Well, before I get into that, I want to ask a question. I don't recall seeing or hearing anything where it stated that the Imperial City was going to be locked to whoever controlled the Ring of Keeps.
You can only in the Imperial City guide, you can only access it if you have the home keeps.
So only basically whoever has the Ring of Keeps is the only faction allowed in Imperial City.
Do you know what the home keeps are?
I might be misunderstanding you.
Okay, there's a difference between Emperor keeps and home keeps. Mm-hmm. So if you're in the DC faction, there's 6 home keeps.
I misunderstand.
Dragon,
okay.
Well, I'll explain it to everyone else.
Right, okay.
So blue is Allswell, Ash. Yellow is Robeck and Alessia. Red is Blue Road Keep and Chalman. Now you have your buff keep. So blue is Dragonclaw, the outer keeps that no one really fights at. And you have your 3 inner ones. So if someone's going for an Emperor run and they take the inner keeps, your faction's not going to Imperial City. So, I mean, why I love the envision of, making this stuff fun and you have to get to it and it's hard and challenging and difficult. I mean, how pissed off are you going to be when this launches and one faction can't get in here? Yeah,
but that's to give incentive to players to
Yeah, but you paid for content. I don't care about incentive. You paid for content? You can't even access it?
Yeah, okay, I got your point.
Although you're telling me right now you would not be completely pissed off about that.
Not really.
Aloha,
no,
you would.
Seriously, no. You know why? Because what excites me the most is the dungeon. It's not the
Aloha,
Imperial
you can't
City.
access the dungeon.
Yes, you can. That you
How?
can. You can, but teleporting into the portal, you do not need to have. You just need to have the DLC, but that's all. If you have the DLC, you have access to the dungeon, and you can go in the looking for group, or you can teleport directly to them. It's not really related to the Imperial City. It's just lore-wise related.
What about getting the loot and the system there?
The Tel Var stone is something different. So I guess that the Tel Var stone will give you access to certain sets of items, while what you will find in a dungeon is related to the Undaunted quest, the Undaunted dailies and stuff like that. So it will be two things different. That's why PvEer should not complain, because we have 4 new dungeons.
4?
Yes,
You're talking about the public one?
2 new dungeons, but with normal and veteran mode. So that's 4.
I see. Okay, now so back to your point.
With that stuff being said, this is where I think the importance of people getting into the PTS and looking at this is really, it needs to be emphasized, because that's where we're going to figure out how this is going to shake out. And I can see it going one of 2 different directions. Either it is worst case scenario, and the non-dominant faction is going to be locked out of it all the time, or maybe it is incentive enough for the non-dominant faction to start working together and get out there and take their keep so that they can get into the Imperial City. So it'll be it'll be very important to get into the PTS and see how this is going to shake out.
Yeah.
And then, at that point, it'll be kind of interesting to see which way it goes, and then they may have to make some adjustments. I mean, they stated when they were talking about the Tel Var stone system that, having a 100% risk where if you die, you lose all your stones, they may have to tweak that. Well, this may be something else that they discover needs to be tweaked. Because, locking people out of content is not good, especially when you're making them pay for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, PTS is primordial, and everyone, and especially the people that are complaining right now, they should go in the PTS to see by themselves, to test it, and to give feedback.
Okay, that's true, but how many times on the PTS have we given feedback and it's not taken until it's launched, and then it comes out and they go, well, we told you this on the PTS, and then they fix it retroactively? How many times have we done that? Quite a bit, actually.
Well, you see that a lot, but at the same time, it gives the people looking at the PTS, some sort of expectation, saying, hey, we saw this in PTS, nothing happened, and that way it's not such a blow, I guess, when it hits live, but.
Well, yeah, but you can't honestly expect non-paid testers, like everyone, to spend 18 hours a week on this. You just can't. It's not realistic.
No, but also for people, before to purchase their DLC, they can see by themselves if they like it or not. That's also, from the customer point of view, it's interesting, because it's probably the first time, except when you're going a beta, it's a little bit like an open beta. You can consider it that way. I'm going to try if I like Imperial City or not.
Yeah. That's true, but it's meant for testing and fixing bugs and stuff, and everyone does use it for that manner. But I think this thing is a make or break for the game, personally. Like, we haven't had content in basically a year. I'm really disappointed there's no trials in here. I like the dungeons, I like the PvP, but we're just gonna have to see on, like, are they gonna fix the disparity in the people being powerful in PvP? Right now, they're taking out the Emperor buff. Got it, great. But Alliance rank 10 is so unbelievably powerful, and people saying that's BS. 15 ultimate a kill? 15 ultimate a kill. When you're in a huge party and you're running through, you're just popping ultimates left, right, and center. So the whole thing is, when Billy Joe wants to play and go to the crafting station inside there, and he or she joins in there as Alliance rank 4, something like that, having fun. You got Joe Tommy here that grinds 8 hours a day in zombies, 100,000 champion points, former Emperor. I know they're removing that, but, Alliance rank 10, dropping magic debts left and right. What are they going to do for the disparity in the game? Because right now there's an enormous gap that's even widening. So I've never played a game that has this wide of a gap in between new players and hardcore. Never.
You said it's make or break, and I have a feeling, I don't know if I want to say for the whole game, but for the PvP aspect of the game, it's definitely going to be a turning point. I mean, if you add the Alliance rank issue and you add the champion point disparity into it, and the fact that vet campaigns are just thoroughly busted right now if you try and play in the evenings, if any of these issues pour over into Imperial City and it launches that way, it is, I mean, it's possibly going to ruin the PvP aspect of this game. And the only thing that people are going to be sticking around for is the PvE. And if that's the way they want it, I guess that's fine. But, I mean, Zos, if you're listening, champion points have to be looked at. We're seeing just, I mean, I spent almost 15 hours in Blackwater Blade over the weekend. And the champion point thing is, it's huge. It's a problem, and it's not going away, and it's only going to get worse unless something's done about it. And if it carries over into Imperial City, I don't care how good the mechanics are, how good the content is. If these problems exist in Imperial City, the fun, no matter what the potential is, it's not going to be there.
Yeah, that's true. Especially as it's more small-scale PvP, and you have the possibility of losing everything you have earned. So it will be even worse. So that's the most important point, and it's even why I didn't talk about that when I discussed about the Imperial City content, because this is not a problem that should happen. We should not be concerned by that. They need to take care of this in priority, because it will not be possible to have any kind of fun. May you be a PvEers or pure PvP players that really enjoy to do that full time. The disparity of the champion points is a problem. Unless you're a griefer, then you are happy, then you're fine.
I mean, I think I played this game a lot, and there's people with 1,000 champion points, and they're not using any different grind spots than I am. They just play a lot. And while people should be rewarded for playing, it's not going to be fun to go up in Cyrodiil against a team of Alliance rank 10s that have been playing for a year and a half together. Now, if you're on that side of the fence, it's great. The thing that worries me, and I know it's make or break for PvP, and if it's just PvE you're sticking around for, unfortunately people aren't sticking around for this game's PvE. Why? They're not adding trials. Endgame rating is where it's at. And if you don't add a trial to this, hardcore PvEers, they're going to be Gandhi. They've done bet DSA for eons now. It's not fun anymore. The thing that worries me the most is the population cap. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Brian Wheeler did say that the population cap will be the same as it is in Cyrodiil.
Yeah, I think so too.
Didn't see the thread, but I was pointed to it, and I should have looked at it, but that's my understanding. And I hadn't caught that, so I was asking some folks about it, but that does seem to be the case, that the pop caps from Cyrodiil apply to Imperial City as well, yes.
So, if that's the case, and at 7 o'clock prime time, PvP is unplayable in most campaigns, just because of lag and issues. They haven't solved that. How are they going to solve this? How is Imperial? I mean, yeah, right. There's meteors dropping everywhere. There's healing springs. I would just wish they could fix the one thing that we already have, which is incredibly fun. If it wasn't for the disparity and the lag, I don't mind the disparity so much because I play a lot, so I only have 400 champion points basically, but it's unplayable. You use an ability, doesn't go off for 5 seconds, and you stand there dropping your ultimate over and over because the computer or the server can't it's just not fun.
Right.
I just hope to God we get it right. They get it right. I mean, it's just, this game is too good not to have content you can't access. There's such a huge disparity in performance. It's freaking Elder Scrolls. It's the Imperial City. I mean, how cool is it that we're going to go and fight in there? Right? I mean, this is cool. This is cool. Please have it balanced. Please.
Yeah, there is different solution about that. I've seen a lot of interesting threads on the forum regarding different solutions that could be bring. For instance, to remove completely the champion point, or to give like 300 champion points for everyone when you go into Cyrodiil, so it's fair for everyone. Another thing that I'm really for this solution is to have one campaign for role player, PvEers, and newbie PvPer. So a campaign where PvP is not disabled, but there will no incentive for very good PvPer to go there, and where role players and and other guys can enjoy their quests, they can enjoy to roleplay in the Imperial City, they can enjoy more casual gameplay without being too afraid of having Cypher going to gank them.
But you thinking that is exactly the reason why PvPers would go there. And because they want to be super powerful. The ultimate feeling is to be powerful.
No, but
and knowing that you can destroy anyone. What would stop them from going there?
Because they will have no reward for them. It will, you will have not the same stone. You will not have the same. You will not have alliance points. You know, it will be a different stores of currency to discourage those people to go there to farm their point easily and then go back in their main campaign and buy their stuff there. So you really should be a super griefer that just want to be cruel with other players and ruin their
There's plenty of them.
Yes,
There's plenty of those.
But those person can be banned easily if there's a moderator.
They can be banned easy. Okay, well, I'm not going to say a name, but it begins with a B and rhymes with you know what. This person has been exploiting a glitch known in the game day one and has a million YouTube videos about it. The misform glitch, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You cannot kill this person. 60 people cannot kill this person. Haven't been banned. Loa, it happens every day. Yeah. I get killed in PvP by stupid macro user bots that have 3 attacks simultaneously go off because they macro it. Dead. It's not fun. PvP right now is just not fun because of the disparity, the macros, the exploits that aren't getting fixed. They're not getting banned because I see them in there every day.
Yeah, but that's wrong.
Please get this right. It's wrong, but guess what? You have rules in society because you know people are going to break them, right? So you have this rule. I know people are going to break them because it's a rule. So you have this punishment. Well, if you don't have a punishment for people breaking rules,
they will break rules. Yeah.
They'll break rules.
Yeah.
You got to ban people.
Yeah. I agree with you on this point.
I want to say one more thing. You know, there's no one more excited about this game in Imperial City than me. But, and why we sound so negative is because we care so much about this game. We really do.
Right.
I don't want to play anything else. I love this game. All I want it to be is fun, balanced. There should be an incentive for people that play a lot. But it shouldn't be so much that you can't have fun without it. And all you have to do is do, you know, PvE. And now I can't even do Lowbie. Why? There's no more character slots. I would do Lowbie PvP. I love it. You learn a lot. It's tactical. If we get Imperial City right, this game will be a hit once again. Tons of stuff to do. If you can't access it, it's a lag fest. It's not fun. You're getting kicked in the face every 5 seconds.
Especially...
Good?
Especially it's something that the PvPers are waiting for since before the release of the game. Yep. It's since the beta we are talking about Imperial City and being excited about it.
So I'm excited. Just take our negativity as enthusiasm. We're just, you know, want to help the game get right. Because I know you guys listen, Zos. Why? Because remember what I said, 200 XP in public dungeons? You got it down to 100. I saw you. I know you watched this damn thing.
Yep. I just want to reiterate, you know, that point. You know, we wouldn't be coming down so hard on this if it weren't for the care and the passion that we have for this game. So, you know, just take that into consideration as you listen to us rant, and hopefully everything, you know, works out, and it's going to be a great expansion.
It'll work out one way or another. It always does.
Next week. Next week, guys, you can choose between 2 very interesting subjects. Lowbie PvP, that's our first subject.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and the second one is QuakeCon. What they have announced to the QuakeCon. Certainly plenty of stuff to discuss about that. Your choice. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you to have watched. And goodbye, Zos. Bye.